Hi, Joe. Thank you for coming out of the French department to visit our Christmas wonderland here.
It's my pleasure.
So tell me about your Christmas traditions growing up. What were your family traditions?
Well, at home, we always emphasize the importance of family during Christmas. So I'd say, for me in particular, I always remember Christmas Eve. For us, going to Christmas Eve Mass was very important, and then coming home as a family and spending a few hours together, just talking. So of course for Christmas Eve Mass we get dressed up and go for the nice Mass, and as my siblings and I got a little older, we would also sing in the choir, so it also gave something a little bit more food for thought during the celebration, as we sort of thought about, okay, well, what are these hymns that we're singing, what are the words, and it sort of began to bring home the bit of the meaning of the celebration we're celebrating. And then after that, we would come home and we would get we'd bring out some of Mom's Christmas goodies that she'd slaved over for the few weeks leading up to Christmas. And we would just spend a few hours before heading to bed just talking as a family. So my parents, my brother, my sister, and I. And in a sense, it was a good way for us to sort of chart the way we were growing up, because year after year we became more able to really have conversations as adults and that kind of thing. And as I got a little older, I started to reflect about what this all means. And some people say that there's a bit of a danger that Christmas can become overly sentimental. Oh, it's a family gathering and that kind of thing. But I don't think that it's a surprise that this is the case, because I think really the celebration does come through, it does have religious overtones through the celebration of the Nativity, because really what we are celebrating is God's becoming present in our world, in a family,
Right.
as a child. And a child, remember, is dependent on the people around him, his parents, friends, extended family, etc. And for me, this sort of became sort of a meditation on what does this mean for us today. And in a sense, I think it's a celebration of our humanity, that God participates in our humanity fully. And even though at times we might be a little down on ourselves about what we've done during the year, and our weaknesses here and there, we can always remember the fact that God participated in these weaknesses, and God was happy to do so. So we can look at ourselves, I think, at this time and say, I'm happy to be me. So I think that over time I sort of began to say, the celebration, which started out as really a family affair for me, also sort of became a celebration and a meditation upon what Christ means for all of us today.
But you had a lot of time to meditate on this. I know this probably wasn't born instantly, but was there a moment, were there a series of moments that helped you arrive at this understanding of Christmas?
Well, when I was, I'd say when I was in my early teens, okay, there was of course, a young teenager, emotional, that kind of thing. And I remember there was one Christmas when we were, it was actually just before opening our gifts in the morning. And along our street, one of the big water mains broke. So, of course, it's Christmas Day, and no one on the street has water. So, you could imagine people have been planning for weeks or more to have their guests over, to have celebrations, that kind of thing, and all of a sudden, they can't do much. So, and I was thinking to myself, well, everyone's got to be upset, and people were kind of annoyed and not happy. And the crew from the city had to come on Christmas Day, work for hours to repair this. So of course, they had to be away from their family and all that. And my initial feeling, I was a young teenager, so I'm going, oh, these guys, they ruined the Christmas celebration and all that. And I thought maybe people might take the opportunity to sort of vent their frustration out on these people. Well, what I saw outside the window was people during the day were bringing them coffee, bringing them Christmas baking, bringing them stuff. And I thought to myself, this really is, during this time of year, it's an opportunity to sort of develop community and communion amongst ourselves. And it's really that human touch. And as I sort of began to sort of, over the years, grow deeper in my own faith, I sort of began to realize, this is what Christ is doing with us at Christmas. He's entering in communion with us as a human person. So.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Joe.
Oh, you're welcome.
Merry Christmas.
You too.